Hey tribe, how's it going today? It's a nice day. It's not clear and sunny. It's very cloudy, has been all day, but it has warmed up, a little muggy. But it's a very calm day. You know, there's hardly any wind today, very calm, still day, almost an eeriness to it, but I like it. I like these kind of days. Um, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I released a video over on YouTube talking about central bank digital currency and how I believe that while all this other stuff, the protests, the riots in Israel and Iran and Ukraine and Russia and China and, Joe Biden and Donald Trump and all that kind of stuff is in the forefront of the news, right? It's what we're seeing happen, that there's big things, sometimes even bigger, happening behind the scenes. And I think that the digital currency is one of them. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just me or my listeners or what, but it seems like everyone's kind of lost interest in that. In the last month and a half, I've made 2 videos on central bank digital currency. And I've talked about, current things, new stuff that's, kind of updating people, how it's moving along. And both of them were hardly viewed at all. Now, is that because no one was interested in them? Or was it because YouTube was restricting it? I don't know. I have no idea. But another thing that I think is along with that is also food. I think that there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, is what I'm trying to say. World Economic Forum, United Nations, all of these folks, they are working very desperately and just putting lots of effort behind the scenes to push this Agenda 2030 Great Reset along. The World Economic Forum had a meeting back in January, and part of their meeting was to get things back on course and to get things caught up and to get this moving along and to re-win the people's trust. And so I think that there's just a lot of evidence that there's a lot of things that's actually happening behind the scenes. And along with the digital currency, another one is food. It's food. If you look at things like Tyson is now, putting ground up cricket powder and stuff in food. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's been several things shared around online just recently, in the last week or two, of how many companies now that are adding. Remember when I can remember, it seemed like it was just a few months ago, that probably was, that I and others were talking about, someday they're going to put bugs in your food, right? Well, it's happened. There's ingredients. Of course, it's when you pick up something. I don't have a food product with me. When you pick up something, the label isn't going to say ground up crickets or squeezed out intestines of mealworms. It doesn't say that. They're calling it something, and it looks just like a normal food ingredient. People don't know it. It's all over. There's tons of food. In fact, so much so that there's a new app that you can get on your phone that you can take a picture of the product, the food, and it will tell you if it has bugs in it. I mean, it used to be when you had food that had bugs in it, you'd throw it out, or you'd take it back to the store and they would freak out. And I remember years ago when I was young, this is just a little side story. I worked at a pizza place, and you get those little packets of Parmesan cheese. And so we handed them out, and the person came back in and he'd ripped open those packages. It had little worms in them, and we'd ripped open several of them, and a bunch of them had little worms in. So of course we were freaking out and gave the guy his money back and gave him some free pizzas on top of that, and sent those back. Ended up, it wasn't necessarily our fault. It was where we got the supplies from. But anyways, the point is that people used to freak out when you had bugs on your food. Now you're paying for them to put bugs in your food. But that's happening right now. I spoke just the other day, and I think I've said this a couple of times, Aldi's. I don't know, some of you, we used to love to go to Aldi's. My wife, that was her thing. She loved to go to Aldi's because you could not just save some money, but you could get certain foods they're pretty natural, very clean ingredients. A lot of kosher stuff. a lot of just clean, natural ingredient foods. Except now, a lot, I don't know the percentage, but I know a lot of the stuff at Aldi now, on the label it says bioengineered food. And we don't even really know exactly what that means. You know, what was bioengineered? What was included in that? I was just talking to a guy today, and I cannot verify this. So please don't freak out. I'm going to be doing some research on this. This came from a trusted source. This is someone I talked face to face to. I know the guy personally. But he worked at a meat packing place years ago, and they did stuff like Walmart and places like that. And he said they would take steaks or roast beef, you know, a beef roast or steak or whatever. And, you know, when you get it, it's so beautifully red, you know, that deep red meat and everything. He said, and the meat is, sometimes it's very old. It's not fresh. And so it naturally would not look that way. And they would make this solution, or they got this solution, and it used pig blood. So the solution had pig blood on it, and they would wipe it or spray it on the meat to make it look bright red. A lot of you, like myself, are going to have some major issues with that. I don't know. I cannot verify that yet. I will be looking into that. So don't just freak out, but it might be something. If you want to do your own investigation, please let me and on here, all of us on here, know if that's true or not. But the point is that our food, I've said this for the last few years, it's becoming so contaminated that it's getting to the point that going to the grocery store and buying your food is not going to be an option for us. It's just not. I know that sounds crazy. We've known it for a while. I mean, I know, I don't really know hardly anyone anymore that would go to McDonald's and get food or something like that, because they know it's garbage. You know, there's so many chemicals. You know, you look at their fries and they have, like, I don't know, 50 ingredients in a French fry. It's absurd. But it's getting that way everywhere. It's getting that way that you can't even, you know, even at Walmart, again, picking on Walmart, in their produce section where it says organic, it's not organic like you and I think. You and I think of organic as a plant that is grown without any herbicides or pesticides. That's not what it means. What it means, organic, is that all the herbicides and pesticides were sprayed on the outside of the plant after a certain time, and it wasn't like soaked up in the plant through the root system, but it was still used. That's for the most part what that means. So you're still getting chemicals and stuff when you buy organic produce from Walmart. They are controlling and manipulating and damaging, destroying the American food system at a rate that's astonishing. And I think a lot of this is being done, behind the scenes, while everyone is distracted and no one really knows. And plus, the food prices have gone up. So you can't even afford, like, you can barely afford to buy regular food, let alone the really good quality, you know, organic, natural foods. And so I saw a report a few months back of talking about the number of people that have stopped buying name brand food, like the store brands, dollar store where you can buy groceries, or Walmart generic brand, all that kind of stuff. It's skyrocketing because people aren't buying the higher, you know, the more expensive brands. Now, that doesn't mean that you're getting worse quality food by buying the cheaper brands, but it could mean that you're getting worse quality food. And it's just that there's also that we don't even know if we can trust the labels anymore. There's laws out there that they don't have to put this on the label, they don't have to put that on the label. And so, yeah, there's a big issue that's happening behind the scenes while everyone's not paying attention, and they're destroying our food system. And we still don't know the full ramifications. I believe firmly that the declining American health is due to our diet. The obesity, the mental illness, the rises in heart disease and cancer and diabetes, all this kind of stuff. It's due to our diet. But how much more damage is being done, to the point of maybe even on a DNA level, a molecular level, it could even be a spiritual level of that's being damaged because of foods that people are eating and what's in them. And we need to be paying attention to that. That's why we've got to be raising our own food, growing it as much as possible, and then building relationships with other people around us that are doing the same thing. Because you know, most people can't grow everything. Like you may be able to raise enough potatoes. Like you may be able to grow enough potatoes for your family for a year. Maybe even potatoes and beans and tomatoes. Let's just say that. Let's say you can grow enough beans, tomatoes, and potatoes for your whole family to eat it fresh and to put it back for over the winter till the next growing cycle. But the odds of you being able to do that, plus, you know, wheat, plus other vegetables, plus, you know, meat and dairy, and it's pretty slim. Most people can't grow and raise all of it. So that's why we have to build relationships with other growers, other farmers. You know, I've talked about this before in our prepper immediate little tribe community. We talked before the growing season, and we were talking about, okay, you know, I'm raising these animals and growing this food. What would you grow and raise? Oh, well, maybe you're better off doing this versus that. You know, if so-and-so has nice green pastures, then maybe he should put certain type of livestock that does better in that. And this person over here that's in the tribe has a lot of these woods and stuff. And so, you know, maybe cows won't do good on there, but, you know, goats would do excellent in those. So maybe that's the goat person. You know, see what I'm saying? And break it up that way. You know, it's not the full responsibility isn't on one person. That's why we have to build relationships, one of the reasons, with people around us, so that we can barter and trade with them. Because I'm telling you, folks, I've been saying this for years, and I believe it's coming soon. When I say soon, I'm saying 12, 18, 24 months. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's already happened. But I would say in the next 12 to 24 months, there will be a huge amount of stuff that you will just not be able to eat because of your principles or your religious beliefs that's in the grocery stores. And what are you going to do? You need to be preparing for that. That's what you're going to do. And getting ready mentally, physically, and spiritually. Folks, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.